God damn it. I did it again. I've been trying to transform myself for years. And every time I try, I fail. And I realize now that's because, well, I don't commit. But it's not that I'm not willing to commit. It's that I'm not committing to the right thing. Let me explain. I come up with the best diet protocol, the best training protocol, the sickest camera gear and ideas. But I always end up losing that specific battle to my greatest enemy. Who? Who do you think? The guy I see in the mirror every morning. You could even probably hear it in my voice right now. Like, I caught a cold in the first week of the new year. And I can say life gets in the way, but that's not true. What is true is that I created the perfect protocol that's impossible for me to do. But not impossible forever, just impossible today. I modeled this transformation after the greatest anime glow-up of all time, Solo Leveling. And as the name suggests, it's a story about a guy who's a complete weakling but a nice guy but treated like a loser who one day wakes up with the ability to unlock his potential. Here's the thing. I know what I'm capable of, and I set the bar there. And there is the problem. Because just because I'm capable of it doesn't mean I'm capable of it now. The protagonist of Solo Leveling, Sung Jin Woo, he had an absolutely badass dagger, which is why I went out and got this, the most badass dagger in all of fiction. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. But one thing I forgot was, well, he didn't start off with a badass dagger. He started his training with a rusty piece of crap. So, while I am capable of wielding this one day, I've got to start off at level 1. Remember, it's not the size, it's how you use it. So just because I completely failed the first week, because I got distracted, sick, lost motivation, that doesn't mean I have to wait for January 1st, 2027 now to try again. I just have to stop trying to play this brand new video game starting at level 100 and take my delusional self back to level 1. Welcome to level 1. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do anything with this. I don't think this can do anything except maybe very crappily go through Amazon boxes. So we're gonna put that there. What I wasn't kidding about though is being at level 1. So Sung Jin Woo had access to the inner matrix of how the world works and is perceived, and he got those powers from a super anime god creepy statue alien thing. Super creepy. Like, super creepy. But since I don't have the ability to access that statue and change how the world perceives things, I'll have to go with the second best thing. Meta glasses. This should give me access for what I need. All right, now let's see. Can I get you guys to access the Matrix with me in 3, 2, 1. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. All right, perfect. Now, you might have also noticed that I cleaned up pretty nice since the last time you saw me. And that's because after 4.5 videos of being scruffy with messy hair and a dirty black sweatshirt, I thought a little bit of transformation is actually in order. I mean, Come on, this is about rebuilding a man. You got to see some progress. And if you haven't seen those other 4 episodes yet, hit the subscribe button. Go back to my channel, watch them. You're going to love them. I guarantee it. Here's the thing, though. We're talking about level 1 right now. And level 1, as I alluded to, is not the crazy, insane protocol that I had previously set. We're not even going to talk about that protocol because it was delusional. That's not how life works. Level 1 protocol. What is the one thing every YouTuber tells you you need to do? No, not subscribe, but again, you should go ahead and do that. It is do your steps. And how many steps are we going to do? Well, I've been using an Apple Watch for long enough to know that on a normal day, given my current occupation as a lawyer, and that I'm driving to court because I don't use the subways because I don't feel like getting slashed in the face, I do about 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. So jumping to 14,000 steps a day, which is what I did have on the old protocol, was dumb. Instead, what we're going to do is 8,000 steps. But why not 10,000? Why not 10,000? Everyone says 10,000 steps. And let me tell you something about that. There is not a lick of science that supports that number as being the end-all and be-all. That was literally a number picked because it looked good for marketing purposes when the pedometer was invented in Japan. So, we're starting out with 8,000. But that doesn't mean the next level isn't going to have more. We got to keep going. What's the next thing everybody talks about when you're doing a body transformation? Calories in versus calories out. So, calories in. We are setting that number at 2,000. It's low. But we have to be in a calorie deficit in order for any of this to matter. Otherwise, you're not going to lose fat. And since we want to be transformational with this, we got to push it a little bit. If I just did a 2,500 calorie daily consumption, that wouldn't really get us anywhere. That's not a transformation. That's a slight shrinkage over time. Yeah, no, we don't want that. No one wants shrinkage. So what we're doing here is 2,000 calories of unprocessed whole foods, high in micronutrients, with a very specific ratio of macronutrients. That being 200 grams of protein. Now, 200 grams is on the high side. But what are you going to replace that with? The other two options are fat and carbs. And as someone whose blood test shows that I have high cholesterol and high triglycerides, I shouldn't be having fat or carbs in any major excess, which is why we're going to add it to the protein pile. Calories out, though. How do you get calories out? Well, 3 real main ways. There's existing and being alive, which is called your basal metabolic rate or your resting metabolic rate. I know mine's about like 1,900, 2,000, give or take, because I got it tested once like last year sometime. The second way is your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is basically all your fidgeting and walking and opening and closing doors and just doing your daily things. And then 3 is your training. And my training protocol. This is where I kind of went off the rails last time, where I was like 14,000 steps, which can be 10 kilometers of walking, and 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, because that's what he does in the show. But if you were to do that in real life every day, you'd burn out your joints and your central nervous system, so don't do that. Martial arts, because he's obviously fighting monsters in the show, and weightlifting, because bro stuff, aesthetics, that's what you just do. That's what you're told to do. That's what YouTube tells you to do. But you gotta also do what is fun for you and that you're going to commit to and do on a continuous basis. Otherwise, you're just going to fail at level 1. So, what do I have? Well, we already talked about the 8,000 steps. What we're adding, though, is MMA training. And that will be 3 times per week. Now you're probably asking yourself, Nipun, didn't you just say you're going to start at level 1? What the hell are you doing joining an MMA gym? This is not my first rodeo. At the age of 13, I got my black belt in karate after doing like a very difficult test that required strength, agility, power, combat skills, etc., etc., etc. And I still have all of that muscle memory. But the reflexes and the cardio is what I've lost. I know that that is level 1 for me, and that's what we're going for. But that's not all we're going for. We're now also going for what every bro tells you to do. You gotta lift weights, bro. So we're gonna do weightlifting. Why 2 times a week? Well, I can go into a long explanation of how lifting heavy 2 times a week is sufficient to cause muscle hypertrophy, which will result in a burning of calories, a growth of muscle, increase in strength, and a whole host of other benefits. But I'll just have you go watch Kino Body's channel, because I'm going to just use his app and his protocol, because he has a 2-day-a-week warrior shredding program. Now, is that 2-day-a-week going to clash with the 3 days of martial arts and give me not enough time to rest? Possibly, but that's why we're also going to be discussing the third leg of every transformation, which is recovery. As you can see, I put an exclamation mark there, is probably the most important, because if you don't do that part, the first 2 steps were pointless. See, recovery, when you're sleeping, resting, healing, that's when your body takes all of the good, wholesome nutrients that you've consumed and uses them to rebuild the muscles that you tore apart working out stronger than ever before. And so, what do you do to recover? 3 things. First, sleep. I'm pretty sure we all do that. Like, you've done that in the past, right? I mean, now you're probably up until 2 a.m. researching weird shit on the internet. But like before that, you used to sleep. In fact, you used to sleep, 8, 10 hours a night when you were a kid? So let's aim for, I was gonna say 6 to 7, but then I just don't want my comment section being full of 6, 7. For that reason alone, we're going for 7 to 8 hours per night. Yeah, we're not doing unnecessary Gen Alpha memes. Millennial memes only. Only millennial references. Aside from sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night so our body can just recoup and restabilize everything, we're also going to do 2 other big things. 1, cold showers. Now, I'm no Wim Hof, and if you don't know who that is, I thank you for making me your entry point into self-development YouTube, because everybody should know who that is. He's the Iceman. He's the guy that's basically sitting somewhere in the Arctic, just chilling under the ice. Just look him up. It's crazy and it's kind of dope. But cold showers, cold plunges, they have tons of benefits. And so, we'll go into more detail about how that is maybe in the future. #foreshadowing future episodes. But for now, we're adding that in to soothe all of our achy muscles, to turn our adipose tissue into a version of fat tissue that is way more easily digestible by our body, so we lose fat faster. And also, build mental fortitude, because who the hell wants to jump into icy cold water? All the benefits, like I said. We're going to be doing that daily for as long as I can handle it. Basically, I'll just keep counting once I put my head in the shower until I give up. I'll update you on how long I'm lasting. But listen, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however much it is, it's a matter of building it up gradually, because remember, where are we? Level 1. You get it. Thank you. You get it. But on the other side of the spectrum, from cold, is hot. Like Shaq's icy hot patch. but actually nothing like that. I just wanted to make another reference from the 90s. So we are going into the sauna. It bumps up your human growth hormone production, which means that your body is going to grow more muscle. It helps ease tense muscles that have been tightened because of the workouts. It creates, again, mental fortitude from sitting in a room that's like, I don't know, 200 degrees or some crazy stuff like that. You get the benefits. Your body gets to relax and also sweat out a lot of junk at the same time. So definitely worth it. And that is going to be probably not daily, as needed, but at least 2 times per week after each muscle building workout. This is level 1. And trust me, we're not going to just stay here. We're making it all the way to level 100. But in order to not fail miserably, we got to start here. So, tell me what's your number 1 level 1 task you're going to be adding to your life. Put that down in the comments below so I know you watched the end of the video. And I love you guys. And like, comment, subscribe. Share this with someone who also constantly fails their resolutions or fails their promises to themselves. Hopefully this helps them. Hopefully this helped you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.